You're the blessings every time I try to count. You're the lessons that I learned every time I turn around. You're the water when I'm burned every time I think I found everything I'm looking for. You're the sign saying stop to take a bow and keep moving forward and start looking towards your heart. It'll open all the doors and only then you'll start to hear the world sing in chorus with your mind and heart. Aligned in purpose, everything will feel gorgeous. Hi, my name is Nimesh Patel, Nemo, and I'm what I call a born-again hip-hop artist, because I was a hip-hop artist back maybe a decade ago, and I totally stopped and let it go. Just recently, within the past 9 months or so, I've started writing again. And it's been a blessing because I've started and reconnected my relationship with music because of the transformation I've gone through over the past 4 years. And that's what I wanted to share with you, because all my life, I feel like it's always been about the external. And just recently in my life, I've dedicated and committed myself to a different way of looking at my interactions on a day-to-day basis and see how that changed me. This was a poster that I used to read in calculus class in high school, Justification for a Higher Education. And that really was kind of like my dream. It was like, I'm going to work hard and I'm going to become successful and I'm going to have this house by the beach with these cars. I truly believe that if you put your vision out there and you strive for it and you work backwards, that you can achieve it. So it was always about putting the anchor out there, looking at how I'm going to get there, working backwards. So always from the external, not worrying about the inside. And in that way, I studied hard in high school and created the resume and the application that was necessary to go to an Ivy League institution. When I got there, I did what was necessary so that I can get a high-paying job on Wall Street. And not only that, it continued. Outside of the corporate, it was like, let's create this music group. I enjoyed, I had a passion for music. And when it was in the music group, it was about, okay, how much fame? How much can we be known? How many more albums can we sell? Can we get a record deal with Sony? All right, we've got that. Now, how do we keep on? Then there was like this animation studio. All these things started coming up, and what I realized is I was successful in my own small little world. And yet underlying all of that was suffering, this subtle form of suffering. There wasn't a fulfillment. There wasn't a contentment. There was just this, it feels good that I've so-called fulfilled some of my small dreams. And that's when it hit me that in this form of my dream coming true, if I'm still suffering, then there's a huge misalignment. And that led me to realize that I had to shift the way I was living. And so I quit everything I was doing at one point, about 4 years ago, and said I was going to commit to my own inner transformation. I was going to commit to shifting the way my lens was with this planet and with the beings on this planet. And for me, there were three things that I wanted to focus on in that commitment. One was to simplify. The other was to experiment. And the third was to serve. And in simplification, life became freeing. I got rid of everything I owned. And it felt like I lost so much weight. I was already skinny, but this was like a whole other weight. And it felt so freeing. Not only that, just detaching from everything I thought I was kind of bound to. Whether it was material, whether it was mental, emotional. So that was kind of the beginning. And then next came this idea that how am I really going to be the change? How am I really going to shift what I want to shift on the inside? And I love Gandhiji's example of his story of experiments with his truth, because I felt like that was one of the tangible ways I can actually start working on changing myself, is different practices, small little practices, whether it was meditation on a daily basis, whether it was not eating at a restaurant for a year, no eating sweets for long periods of time, whether it was on here on our birthday, this is a picture of us going to clean human defecation in the slum area. Nothing big. It was going to get all dirty again just the following day. But it was an experiment on empathy for us, to understand what people are going through. It was a way for us to actually purify ourselves, to connect with what the situations are in the spaces that we were actually serving. Little experiments like this kept on changing my conditioning. Kept on changing my conditioning. And third was service. I knew that Gandhiji has this beautiful quote: the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. And this became my context. Serving in the Gandhi ashram at Manav Sadhana, for the last 4 years, I had a chance to work with underprivileged children. And my passion is for the entertainment and the arts, so I connected with kids, 16 kids I had selected from the local slums. And we became a family for 2.5 years, living every day together for about 4 to 5 hours. And we put this vision out there to create this dance drama musical production called Ekatva, sharing Gandhiji's message. But this journey was only powerful because of the lessons that I realized I learned from it. And there were 4 lessons in this service space that I had taken away. I had come from this space that big was always the most important. And I was humbled in this environment by my kids that small was actually the most beautiful. And Mother Teresa has this beautiful quote: we can never do great things, just small things with great love. And that's what the kids taught me. And I love this picture because even though we did this big musical production, the slippers aligned in a straight line to me is probably the most representative of our journey. That these small details were more important than going on stage in front of thousands of people. Small little details. If there was an insect that passed away or that we saw on the side of the road, then we would pick it up and do a burial ceremony for it. Or sitting together in prayer or circles of sharing. Or doing acts of kindness. Another lesson that I learned very quickly is that I'm not changing anybody, and it's even hard to change ourselves. But one thing we can do is plant seeds. And we can have that intention to make change, pure intention that eventually will bloom on its own. One of the greatest values, the mother of all virtues, as some people say, gratitude was taught to me. And I thought I was going to serve and I was being the one served. I remember this moment where Vishal's family's house got demolished in Ahmedabad. And without any notice, it was happening. They give me all these phone calls and I come with a bag of groceries knowing that this has happened. Their whole life has been ripped apart from underneath their feet. And the first response is they're smiling at me, saying, "What would you like to drink? Coffee or tea?" They have nothing. Biggest life lesson for me, gratitude. And so I take that with me. And all along, I'm here to change myself these 4 years, and constant, every day, there's something that's chipping away at me, chipping away, rewiring the old context. And one of the most important lessons I also learned with these children is that, and in the space of service, is that whenever we offer ourselves with a pure intention, the world conspires to support you. It's the law of nature. And we started off with this small little experiment with these kids to just nurture ourselves, plant seeds in ourselves. And all of a sudden, this is just growing and blooming and the world starts supporting us. And it ends up being that we're able to take these children on a 2-month tour around the world where they're sharing this show in some of the most, prestigious venues in the US and the UK, kids that have never been out of their own city. And I realized looking back that nobody was planning that. Nobody was trying to create a strategy how to do that, but the world just conspires when your heart is connected to what you're doing. We were on the plane back from the UK after the tour, 2 months, and everybody had been already asking me, "What are you going to do next?" This was 3 years into my service journey. This was so big. You've touched tens of thousands of people's lives. The children were amazing. When are you going to do this again? How are you? Let's do it again. Let's make it bigger. So the question came inside my mind, what are you going to do next after this project? And my mind was saying bigger and better. And then my heart said, no, Nemo, you're not here for that. You're actually here for your own transformation. And if you're here for your own transformation, you need to actually not do anything when you get back. You need to actually ground yourself in the small things again. And it was so hard for me, coming from where I've come from, to say, yes, I'm okay with that. I will do nothing. But I knew my heart was correct. And if I was going to make change from within, that was what I had to do. And so I did that. I got back, and for the first time in my life, ever, after 33 years of my life, I did nothing. I helped cut vegetables in Manav Sadhana at our NGO, cleaned, helped talk to other volunteers that were there, helped encouraging them on their journey. And people asked me, what am I doing? And I said, I'm proud to say nothing right now. And from that space of emptiness emerged something that I had not even planned. I spent a long time running. I never knew then what I know now. That the fruits, they always come in, but you can't go around just knocking them down. It takes a long time to show in. We plant the seeds then and we look at them now. But the roots are always growing, no matter if I'm there or ever around. And so these were the first words that came back to me, the first lyrics that I had written after almost 8 years. And I just started writing music again, with no agenda or even idea that I would start writing again. What I realized is that I wasn't writing. It was this new self that I had helped develop that's going to be a lifelong journey, maybe many lifetimes. But this commitment to just purifying the inner self that started writing on its own. And so I started writing songs about kindness, about gratitude, values that were so dear to my heart, things that I would never probably have done before. And then people started supporting again. And we created these music videos on $0 budgets with friends. And ripples started spreading. Just 3 days ago, I was on a conference call with this school, Allegheny Elementary School in New York, Long Island. And inspired by the Being Kind song, their kids from kindergarten and fifth grade took a 21-day kindness challenge. And they memorized the song, and then they committed to 21 days of acts of kindness. And then they said, we want you to join on the assembly, school assembly. And they shared with me that they had done 1,300 acts of kindness in those 21 days. And for me, it was such a blessing to see that committing to my own just purification, who cares what comes out of it, led to some goodness in the world. And so I'm convinced that this is the path for myself, that as I continue, I have no clue what externally will emerge, but as long as I keep purifying myself and keep working from within, it'll keep emerging, whatever it is. And I like this example of the egg, when you crack an egg from the outside, you get scrambled eggs. But when you let it emerge from the inside, it's priceless. And so I just want to share one song with you, if that's okay. It's called Being Kind. And it is a song very dear to my heart because it expresses this space that if we can offer just a little kindness in the world, in our daily life, wherever we are, whatever path we're walking on, wherever we spend our time, then we can make that change together. We don't have to serve at an NGO. We don't have to commit 20 hours a day here or there. We just have to be kind. Well, my heart starts sinking and I'm thinking, what's the reason why we holding back from being kind? What's the disease within the sense? We are fine. It'll all happen. One small step at a time. For the violence and it needs a little kindness. I just sit and pray in silence and God shows me the signs. Open my eyes, realize we are fine. One small act at a time. Last night I'm walking home and the homeless man says hello with a smile to let me know that he's got a lot of hope. He says, have faith, young man, we are fine. The world is kind. One small act at a small acts we do together, even though maybe alone, changes the world for the better, so we can call it home. And this is life as we know when our hearts are aligned. The magic that unfolds, one small act at a time. Throw your hearts up, let it fly high, let your love for all the world spread it through the sky. Let it drop down, let it all go, spread it kindness to every single living soul. Can you see the love for me shining through? It's what you see in me.
I can see you. Soon enough, you and me will be out of time. Kindness will be all we can give. Yeah. Feeling grateful today. Never thought this day would come. And I would feel it and say that each and every one of us have paved the way, doing good. And now we're all just moving up. When I'm kind to you, you pay it forward. This is how we build trust. Never had faith. Now I'm seeing you. I wanna give you my life. Wanna spread love before I die. Thank you, God, for finally letting me realize when I serve man, I'm really serving you. In the sky, smiles everywhere, cause now everybody's got the blood. Ain't no life without the love. If it is, it ain't no fun. What we gonna do? Now just grab a friend and give a hug. Spread it out real wide so everyone can be touched. Throw your hearts up, let it fly high, and let your love around the world spread through the sky. Let it drop down, let it all go. Spreading kindness to every single living soul. Can you see the love from me shining through? Cause what you see in me, I can see in you. Soon enough, you and me will be out of time. Kindness will be all we can do behind.